Design Group, Seth Levit, and the toughest live podcaster Dan Marino ever played with. Juice, I apologize. The coaches that I worked for would fire me for being this
Right.
late.
Right.
But here
You're
we
gonna be
are.
fine for sure. You won't. You might not. You're getting fined for sure, Big Seth. And
Well, no, PR guys didn't get fined. I think they just got released. They got handed their walking papers.
well, I'm gonna tell you this too, man. You guys got a little chunk, playoff money. Didn't you get a little something?
Not the number 3 PR guy in the department. Harvey Green
Oh.
might have gotten the playoff check. Seth Levit
Ah.
was motivated simply by wins because I wasn't getting any extra money patted onto my $22,000 a year
So
salary.
what about when I was Andy up, man? Did you get any money when I was Andying up in the locker room for dudes?
No, no.
Oh, that's
Unless
on
you
me
handed
then,
me an
man.
envelope that said Seth on it, I
No,
did
I didn't
not
do
get a
that. I didn't
piece of
handle that part. I just handled gathering the money. How it was distributed was
no
from somebody
clubhouse
else.
dues.
You know what
I
I
never
mean?
got
Yeah,
clubhouse dues either. Didn't get
yeah,
any of it.
yeah. I was just making sure
BLT
money.
in the chat.
Yeah,
My
man.
man
So
BLT, good to see it. So listen, as always, we are joined by the producer extraordinaire, although we might adjust that title. He is the legendary Sevach. And then, well, I gotta, we tried this in round 1. We'll do it in round 2. I'm gonna say he's the toughest beat writer / columnist
that's
ever
right.
to step foot into Davie while I was there. Senior NFL writer for Outkick, Pro Football Hall of Fame selector, Armando Salguero. We cut into your time, so I want to try and get there quickly. Mondo, thanks for being here, brother.
No, gents, it's my pleasure. And I never said I was tough. I never said anything like that. I did tell Joe Green to F off one time.
I was just going to say, you took on me,
come
Joe
on,
Green.
man. Come on, man.
So there's that.
Hey, Mondo, I did some of those things all the time, man. Knowing I might take an L in the locker room, I was still making sure that my voice was heard among some of the big guys, man. So, but I'm gonna tell you this though, Mondo, you were tough and you were fair, bro. You know what I mean? And you and I have talked about some of the things that we've been through, man. But one thing about Armando, tough but fair, man. And he showed up in the locker room every day, Big Seth.
He
Some
did
dudes
show
right
up.
and don't show up, man. I love that about Armando for sure.
I also showed up at that South Beach? Were you there at South Beach with Joel Siegel for that night? Oh, we're not talking about that.
No. Hey, well, we can talk about anything we want now. At this point, we can talk about anything. Everything is fair game now. Hell, you know what I mean?
Too funny. I mean, if it was South Beach and Joel Siegel, my money's on OJ McDuffie was there as well. That's where I'm going to go. But so listen, I'm going to just jump right into this, given the fact that we don't often have Hall of Fame selectors here, and it's always a topic of conversation, and this one really was a gut punch to me. And Armando had nothing to do with it, but today there are 9 candidates for the Pro Football Hall of Fame seniors category were released, and there were 3 wide receivers. And none of them, and it's not a surprise because we already knew, but none of them are named Mark Clayton, which for me is problematic. It's problematic. And I just, one, again, I want to make it clear, if you're trying to blame Armando for this, he has nothing to do with the seniors committee. At some point, he is a selector. Those guys are selectors with the big pool, with, I guess, what's considered the modern day, right? The modern day candidates. But once guys reach the seniors committee, that's a separate blue ribbon panel. Is that right, Armando?
That's right. I am not, unfortunately, on that committee. Actually, I am on the coaches committee. And so, yeah.
So if Arsberger doesn't make it, we can come for your head. But we can't blame Mark Clayton on you.
Well, he wasn't one of the 9, so he didn't make it. When I got around to it, he wasn't there anymore. So there's that. But
yeah,
that committee is, going to be meeting and discussing guys. But I know that you have a special place in your heart for Mark Clayton, and I understand why, because obviously his narrative, his story, his legacy demands that he be recognized. And yet Otis Taylor and Henry Ellard and Stanley Morgan are basically finalists, and he didn't even get in the room, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's so, I came prepared for this because I just have a tough time with it. So let's look at their careers. Clayton played 11 seasons. Otis Taylor played 11 seasons. Stanley Morgan, 14. Henry Ellard, 16. When it comes to yards, Clayton was third, if we're only going to focus on yards. But I am of the opinion that it's more important to put the ball in the end zone than it is to rack up yards. They're all important. They're all things in. By the way, Armando, as we sit here in Pine, there happens to be a guy, a pretty good receiver in this room as well. So Juice, jump in and tell me where I'm foolish. But I think there's nothing, if you're playing the wideout position, there's nothing more impressive to tell your story than the fact that you help your team score points. And the way you win football games is to have more points than your opponent. And Clayton had more touchdowns than all of them. All right, 72 for Stanley Morgan, 57 for Otis Taylor, 65 for Henry Ellard. Henry Ellard played 16 seasons to Clayton's 11, and he had almost 20 less touchdowns. Now, he racked up a bunch of yards. He averaged almost 17 yards per catch. All those guys had their yards per catch were strong. But double-digit touchdown seasons, Clayton had 4. Henry Ellard only had 1. Otis Taylor only had 1. I don't get it. That touchdown to reception ratio that you know I love, Clayton had every 6.9 catches is a touchdown. Henry Ellard, every 12.5. How is the guy not in the conversation? What is it that's going on? I know you're not in the room, but what are you hearing? Is there a reason why Mark Clayton is just not viewed the way these other players are?
Well, let's back Otis Taylor out of the conversation, okay?
Okay.
Because he played before any of you were born, probably. and I was still, I think trying to figure out which breast on my mom I needed to feed off of at the time. So there was that.
Switch hit, Mondo.
Yeah. So there's that. So it was just a different NFL then. It was just a different NFL then. Stanley Morgan, 19.2 yards per catch lifetime. That's something.
Yeah.
I think
Stanley Morgan's numbers are impressive.
Yeah. 10,352 yards. Just he deserves to be discussed, I think. So
I agree.
Clayton, but I'm not gonna diminish Stanley Morgan. I mean, he was it as far as stretching the field and stuff like that. Henry Ellard, a similar dude, 13,000 yards plus. He had 7 1,000-yard seasons. So,
well, they're all going to be great players. That's why they're in the conversation. I just don't know why Clayton is. It's almost like he's dismissed.
I don't think he's dismissed, Seth. It's just that it's Mount Everest, and
yeah,
only a certain amount of people are even allowed to go up, much less get to the top. Yeah. And it seems like he doesn't have an advocate that is in the room, obviously, or enough advocates among selectors. He obviously has me. I think he has maybe a couple of other guys, including John McClain in Houston. But other than that, I've not heard we got to work for Mark Clayton. I have not heard that conversation. And it's unfortunate, that we've been working on it for going on, I think, 4 or 5 years now. Right. This year was very disappointing. I can't deny it. Very disappointing.
Mondo, do you know if any of those other guys have guys out there working, clamoring for them, like their organizations or whatnot, that are their teams, or clamoring for those guys, or just seem like, we're just on the other people within the Dolphin organization?
No. Well, the Boston media is very strong. So Stanley Morgan. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs have a great machine. And I think people look at those Chiefs teams of the 60s and go, there had to be more.
Yeah.
And, right. You got Len Dawson in there. You got Hank Stram in there. You got Willie Lanier in there. But, I mean, they played in Super Bowls. What can I tell you? And they won.
Clayton played in Super Bowl.
Well, but he didn't win any.
He didn't win it. He did break a 40-year-old record with 18 touchdowns in the season.
I know you've got the touchdown thing going on. I hear you.
I mean, touchdowns matter, right?
I hear you. But I think that the problem, you asked me to explain why the other guys, we can't just dismiss the other stuff, the Pro Bowls and the All Pros. I think, what was it? Was Otis Taylor a 3-time All Pro?
So I have 2, but my information here could be inaccurate.
Okay.
Pro Bowls, back when Pro Bowls mattered because everybody didn't just decide not to play. Clayton has more Pro Bowls than all those guys.
No, I said All Pro.
You said both, but All Pros, he was never a first-team All Pro. But that again goes back to my point. When it was settled on the field, Mark Clayton is as good as, if not better, than guys who are in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. When it was decided by somebody else that wasn't his peer or didn't play against him, in other words, when media had to vote on All Pros, and I'm not anti-media, I'm just saying when someone else had to make the decision, when it was, All Pros, all decades, things of that nature, and now Hall of Fame, that's the only place he falls short. It is frustrating to me. And actually, I'll roll it into this because I don't want to burn up all the time we have with you on this. But I feel that Dan Marino's greatness is held against players that played with Dan Marino. And I feel like that's also hurting another guy who you are advocating for in Richmond Webb.
Right. So the voting for the modern era guys has happened. I obviously voted for Richmond. Surprise.
I hope so. Otherwise, we got problems.
Right. And, well, I mean, if I didn't think so, I wouldn't.
I get it. Right. I get it. But I'm saying then he's got no shot.
I mean, we're not exactly, Mark Dixon, I loved him, but I'm not going to vote for him for Hall of Fame.
Right.
Okay. Regardless of who he played for, there was a very good, I thought, film study of Richmond against Bruce Smith throughout the 1990 season. There's a gentleman named Daniel Moreno who put that together. He took every run snap that Richmond Webb had against Bruce Smith in 1990. Every run snap. He put that on tape. I sent it to the Hall of Fame. He took every pass snap that Richmond Webb had against Bruce Smith in 1990. Again, his rookie year. He put that together. I sent that to the Hall of Fame. I'm expecting / hoping that when selectors see that, their eyes will open and understand that this rookie came into the NFL and immediately he was oftentimes, I would say 75, 85% of the time, when he was facing Bruce Smith, he was one-on-one against Bruce Smith. And it worked and it was good. And that was his rookie year. And Bruce Smith was a wily, complete, made man veteran at that point in his career. And Richmond Webb, I think he was like 23, 24 years old. He was every bit his equal. So didn't win them all. And I think actually the fact that he didn't win them all and it's an unvarnished look will help Richmond, because it's not like us editing tape and going, this is just, Richmond dominated. No, it was a great player facing a great player who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, facing a Hall of Famer and arguably a Mount Rushmore Hall of Famer in Bruce Smith. So I'm hoping that works out.
You got a lot of mountains tonight. We've climbed Mount Everest. We've just chiseled Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Wait till I get to the
Armando,
mountain at Tropical Park. Talk about that one.
And Armando, I mean, we honestly didn't we draft Richmond because of Bruce Smith?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins, as you know, had this guy, Dan Marino.
Right.
That
Perhaps you've heard of him.
really wanted to keep upright. And Dan Marino at that time was amazing in that I think there was years where the Dolphins gave up 10, 11 sacks all year. And that was very Dan Marino related. But it was time in 1990, 7 years into Dan Marino's career, to make sure that Dan Marino's career extended beyond.
Right.
And the Dolphins, as you remember, Juice, it was the Bills, and then the Dolphins were the second best team in the division and trying to climb over the Bills. And right. Don Shula was a competitor, and so he did what competitors do. He addressed issues.
Right. Absolutely.
And addressed it pretty well. Nailed it with that one. So, well, it'll be interesting to see. I think that's awesome that we know Dan through the world of Twitter since he's all the way in France, and he's definitely been putting the work in and advocating for Richmond. So that's cool that he was able to supply you with that stuff. Appreciate you sharing it. I know we're we got a late start, so I'm going to say 20 minutes from kickoff. That's what I'm going to call. All right, so we're talking the mountain in Tropical Park. Let's talk about the current Miami Dolphins. All right. We talked about the Mount Rushmore, and we talked about Mount Everett. Let's talk about this current Miami Dolphins team and the state of the Dolphins. And you and I have been having these kind of conversations for I don't know how many decades now, Armando. Didn't quite start the way anybody had hoped if you are a Dolphins fan, or I guess expected. Maybe it depends where you are and what you had wanted to see last offseason. Are we at the stage now at 4-7? They've won 3 out of their last 4. Chris Greer, who was here for a long time, is no longer here. Mike McDaniel still does have his job. A lot of people thought the two of them were attached at the hip, along with Tua Tagovailoa and the good hip, the bad hip, whatever it might be. Is Mike McDaniel coaching for his job? We've heard certain reports that Stephen Ross really wants to keep him, and and some we've heard that he's going to be good to the end of the season and maybe even into next season. I don't know what you're hearing. I feel like you still have a pulse on this organization, but do you feel that Mike McDaniel is coaching for his job still at 4-7?
100%. He's not going to get fired before the end of the season, so that's just not going to happen.
So he's coaching for his job in 2026.
Right. And so far, so good, because I believe he's 2-0 since that sort of edict / decision came down. He beat the Buffalo Bills, and really it was one team showing urgency, one team showing that it was motivated, and another team kind of sleepwalking. Yeah. And the team that was sleepwalking was the team that has a lot more to play for,
right?
Not the Miami Dolphins. So it was weird, and it was a great win for the Dolphins. Obviously, they went to Spain and won that one. And here's where I would caution everyone. It's not over. I believe there's 2, 4, 6 games left. 7?
Correct. 6 games. Yep.
6 games. So you got to finish strong.
Yeah.
This isn't, he hasn't done it. I don't, it would be a mistake for Dolphin fans to think, okay, this is done. It would be a mistake for Mike McDaniel to think, I beat the Bills, this is done. No, it's not done. And all this adversity, we faced adversity, You haven't faced adversity. The assignment is not over until the clock is at 0-0 after you play the New England Patriots in the season finale. And then we're going to know. And you better have beaten the New England Patriots. You better have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the week before that. And you better have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 weeks before that.
Right.
Because those are games that are going to be tilt games. It's going to tilt the narrative on him one way or the other, I think. I mean, anyone that thinks it's over and he's accomplished, you don't know. You don't know the NFL.
Right. So Armando, so what you're saying, so if they won 3 out of the last 4 with 6 remaining, if they go 5 out of the last 6, that's not good enough, you don't think?
No, I think that is good enough.
It's good enough?
I think that's good enough.
Give them 9 and 8 though, but I mean,
yeah. No. Now there will have to be some addressing done because you can't start year after year kind of digging yourself in a hole to the point where it's almost a grave. And people are talking about the end of your head coaching tenure. You have to do something different to figure out how to start fast next year. So the assignment for McDaniel right now is finish strong. And if you do that, you better figure out next year how to start fast, because I remember in, 2014, Joe Philbin, Joe Philbin, he didn't finish strong. Somehow Stephen Ross still kept him. And the next year he started slow again. But 4 games in, they went to London. I don't know if you guys remember, I wrote, he's got to win this game or he could be out. Certain people said, that's crazy. Stephen Ross won't do that. Certain people in the media. They lost. And
wait, the people in the media lost or the Dolphins lost?
No.
Or
well,
both?
The people in the media who said I was wrong lost. and Philbin lost. And 4 weeks in, he's out. So you're on notice, Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
You got to do it now and then start fast next year, or you're going to be Joe Philbin part 2.
Ooh, you don't want to be Joe Philbin part 2. Why isn't Joe Philbin in the Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Sorry, no. That is very funny. He's in some Hall of Fame. So, Juice, were you about to ask a question?
No. I'm all in on what he's talking about. I was going to ask a little bit about, if anything, like these next 4 games. I think Miami's finally might be favored in these 4 games, like we've been the last couple games, which we, not the last couple, but the last game for sure. I know the end of the season, though, you talk about Tampa and New England. If those games are competitive, Mondo, if the team goes, I know we have Tampa here, and I think we're at New England. The style points mean anything moving forward for this coach.
Well, so let's remove New England, Juice, because we don't know. New England, I mean, God bless them. They're a problem now.
Yeah,
again.
That could be a rest your starters game for them.
100%. That's what I'm getting at. Which would, if I'm Mike McDaniel, that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
Go New England.
Yeah.
Win. Because that way, when I play you, I'm not going to be facing Drake May and Travion Henderson and Diggs and people like that. I'm going to be facing their backups, and I probably, have a good chance of beating you. So there's that.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, they're not easy. They're a rough and tumble team, and they do stuff that bothers on defense, that bothers the Miami Dolphins quarterback. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Dolphins will be favored at Pittsburgh. Right?
Gonna be close.
Hey, do we know if Aaron Rodgers? Do we know what the status is of his?
He's trying to play this week.
Okay, got it.
We want Aaron Rodgers. Actually, we want him.
Wow.
Yeah, but don't you think the sports books would view it differently?
Yeah, I think so. But I want Aaron Rodgers, though. I mean, honestly.
Man, the last time he saw Miami, I didn't want any part of him.
Hey, look, they dominate. Well, I know it's Cincinnati, but they dominated Cincinnati, without him most of the game. But Cincinnati's defense is hot garbage, as we all know.
Yes,
hot garbage on a windy day for sure. Absolutely. So, I want to, before you get out of here, I do want to ask you about the general manager situation as well. But you said something. We talked about the guys in the media who thought you were wrong. They lost. Juice, I don't know if you know about this about Armando, and you love to compete. Armando is a competitive son of a gun.
Damn right.
He is a competitive dude. Like, people don't think. we're not used to that here. The Dolphins press room now, it's a kumbaya deal. Everybody's buddies, the whole thing. And
the whole building, Seth. It's the whole building.
You're right. It permeates throughout the whole building. It's everybody's giving hugs to each other. It was cutthroat. It was so cutthroat back in that day. And has the industry changed as a whole, Armando, or is it just that, like Drew said, the whole building? It's just that this group of guys, they're all just, it is just kind of a gather around the campfire and roast some marshmallows and let's all be friends.
So it has changed. It has changed 100%, because now basically all of the news is filtered through, I would say, a handful of spigots. And the spigots are Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, and maybe sometimes Jordan Schultz at Fox, and maybe sometimes, one or two other guys. The big stories go there because that's where the agents feed the stories for the maximum, I would say, attention, because the agents want what? More clients, so they can get what? More money. So, of course, so they do that. Back in my day, that wasn't the way. And so I recall it wasn't Drew Rosenhaus calling Adam Schefter. It was, I remember sitting in my house and getting a call from Drew Rosenhaus. Hey, Armando, Randy McMichael is agreed to a contract with the Dolphins, and here are the numbers. And I'm going, cool, yes. And that's how it happened. That's how it worked. Bernie Kosar, the day of, he told Jimmy Johnson on the draft day, I'm retiring. And after he got out of Jimmy Johnson's office, he called me and he goes, hey, bro, bro, I'm going to retire. I'm giving you the story. And it held until the next morning. It was amazing.
Right.
It's not like that anymore. It's just not.
So you telling me that there's beat guys, it's not just this beat, that beat guys are rarely breaking stories anymore across the league?
Across the league, no. Yeah, it's not like that. It drives me nuts when I see beat guys retweeting the national guys.
Right.
It's like, are you serious right now? Go confirm something.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, I'm a dinosaur. I don't know anything. I'm not, I'm paid to write columns for Outkick and share my opinion. This is my opinion. Fight harder.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Yeah.
That is all
Fight
I'm
harder.
saying.
Actually, I mentioned Drew, and Drew is a good man. He is the best of the best at what he does. I actually got pissed off at Drew when this whole thing started. And I said, dude, so you're doing that and you're bypassing me?
Right.
How is that possible? That's not going to go well for you.
Right.
I guess that was a mini threat.
Tough guy in the press room.
To which Drew said, well, I'll consider this, but it's in my best interest to do it the way we're doing it. And I understood it, but I fought it. And, it worked to some small degree.
It's interesting.
How often are those guys, the Schefters and those guys, making calls to the agents? Or is it mostly, which way is it going mostly? Is it coming from those reporters to the agents that they have a relationship with now and obviously you have on speed dial, or is it vice versa mostly? During
free agency, it's a one-way situation. And it's typically agents going, this is it. This is agreed. And you'll notice, God bless them, that there is no, sometimes you'll get, this is a great contract. Really, dude? That's a great contract? So what is that? That is a thank you for giving me the scoop, right?
Yeah.
To your 10 million followers or 4 million followers or whatever. And there's never any follow, because sometimes, and this was very true, I would say 4 years ago or so, the agents would inflate the numbers, and then the actual contract numbers would come out. And
guys don't like looking bad.
Yeah. So now the numbers are more accurate. But when you ever read up to a maximum of, that's not a real number.
They've included everything, Armando, right? Every possible incentive has been achieved beyond belief.
Tickets for mom, the whole thing, right?
If he runs for 1,000 yards and on Friday cleans the facility and also takes the coach's daughter to the prom, and also, no, those are not real. They're incentive numbers, and they're not often real.
Right. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it, but I know we're going to talk overtime rules later, Juice. But I guess I'm still just pushing against the grain. Like, okay, I get it that the industry has changed, but you got to break a story. There's got to be something that falls in your lap, that you meet somebody, something, right? You got to be able to break a story. So it just doesn't seem like it's something that's done anymore. It's not the focus.
Well, I mean, it still happens. It still does happen. I don't want to give you the impression that it doesn't. There are some guys that work really hard. There are guys in Miami that work really hard. I think Dave Hyde works hard. I think Barry Jackson works really hard.
I'm not saying they're not working hard. I just don't think they're working hard at that.
No, once you work hard, the other stuff happens. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying every day. I'm not saying every week even, but every once in a while, you'll see the nugget. You'll see.
Yeah. Armando, that's a great point right there. I mean, that's gold for you guys. Speaking of nuggets, I mean, just being able to get a story ahead of everything else, man. And honestly, having the confidence of somebody that you're not going to reveal your sources, but you've got some relevant and pertinent information. That's got to be that's scoring big time touchdowns, man. Right? I mean, that's what it's all about in the industry. No,
that is obviously that credibility.
Yep.
In relationship.
Sources, yep.
Relationship. I mean, look. You guys have deemed me worthy of being in your company. For why? Because we had a relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
No doubt.
And it is what it is. It's a relationship business.
It is what it is. That's a quote I've heard in Davey.
Yeah.
Too much.
Back in the day. I love it. Oh, man. Fins TV in the house. Good stuff. All right. Last question I've got for you, Armando. The GM. So we talked about the coach. Let's talk about the general manager. I know, I think I know how you felt about Chris Grier, but it doesn't matter anymore because Chris Grier is no longer the Miami Dolphins general manager after a long, long tenure, not only in that position, but in the organization. The interim general manager is Champ Kelly. His suit game is on point. Juice, we've talked about his suit game.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He definitely has that going on. We're hearing that he's very well liked in the building. Seems to bring a certain level of energy. I heard Anthony Weaver used the term that he's a great communicator. I've heard that players see him in the weight room, things of that nature. Does Champ Kelly have, is he in the lead for this job? I guess you would think he is. He's in the building. He's in the interim position. Does he have a shot at keeping this job, or are you hearing that there might be other things going on? Because I saw something the other day where somebody reported that this is actually a desirable position where a lot of people have been critical of the roster makeup.
Right. So that's a lot of stuff. Champ Kelly is good at what he does. Okay. He was good for the Raiders at what he did as the interim. And he's been good for the Dolphins at what he did. I know that he tried to do more than merely trade Jalen Phillips, and it didn't work out. So he will have an opportunity. He's getting an opportunity, and I'm assuming he's going to get an interview. As to the, what'd you call it? The position being desirable?
Yes.
That's narrative. That is Miami Dolphins narrative. because it's just so much BS. It's not even funny. And this is the reason that it's BS. It's desirable by accomplished GMs. Well, accomplished GMs have jobs.
Right.
So what the hell are you saying?
Oh.
You're talking to guys with jobs? I know you better not be, because Steve Ross went down that road before, and it cost the Miami Dolphins a first-round pick, and it cost Steve Ross, I think, what was it, $500,000 or something? And
I mean,
and he was suspended. So
he's
that's
not missing the
tampering.
$500,000.
Yeah, that was helicopter. That was helicopter gas. Yeah.
So so the narrative of, accomplished GMs just collapses on itself. This is what I know. The last time that the Miami Dolphins had a coach that they had already in-house, assuming Mike McDaniel stays, and they went out and tried to hire a general manager, it was a disaster. And that happened in 2014 when teams or the Dolphins brought in top flight candidates, not accomplished, because none of them were actual GMs, but they were the up and comers, so to speak. And the ones that took the interview, 3 of them declined a second interview. Why? Because they found out that they had to work with Joe Philbin. Accomplished, and it's not because of Joe Philbin. Accomplished GMs typically want to work with the people that they already know. Yeah. Or want to hire themselves. The real elite of the elite want to run the organization and bring in their guys, not be walking down the aisle in a shotgun wedding with a coach that's already there, that whom they may know or not know. Those are the accomplished GMs. So the leak about, well, this is a very desirable job for accomplished GMs, somebody hasn't used their critical thinking gene about what that actually means, because you can't hire guys that are already hired. It's as simple as that. And look,
Armando, yes, that's good stuff. I have a follow-up real quick. So as the interim GM right now, what can he do now to impress? Because there's not much you can do now. Post-trade, post everything, the roster is what it is. And secondly, if we feel, if we feel that Mike McDaniel is going to be probably maybe back for another year, we're not sure yet. That means what you're saying is that Champ Kelly's probably the best person in that situation, right?
Well, I don't know who else they're going to get to come in, because I don't know who they're going to get to come in. Right. I like Champ Kelly. I think he's good. I don't know. I don't know how good he is at actual running of a draft, say. Right. I know he's respected, but that's as far as it goes. I know that he knows how to run a trade deadline. It didn't go, it wasn't a home run, but he got his cuts. And
got his swings in.
Yeah. And he did connect on one.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins ownership is apparently happy with what he did. So I would have liked to have seen Bradley Chubb traded, but that's a hard one to do. Right. That's a real hard one to do.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. Really good stuff. I appreciate you making the time, and I appreciate you going overtime, man.
Yeah,
that's right, under promise, over deliver. So
that's great stuff, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is. We'll see what happens with Richmond. We'll keep an eye on it, and I imagine you and I will talk after whatever happens.
Guys, it's always my pleasure. The last time we talked, I was on vacation.
You were.
That's right. He was living that lifestyle, Big Seth.
He was. Man, the ocean was behind him.
Yeah, it was.
Relaxed. He looked like he had gotten some sun. So
Yeah.
now the NFL season is taking over. He
Yeah.
still look good. Still look good.
No, no, I haven't slept a whole bunch this week, and I didn't last week either. It is what it is. It's the NFL season.
It is what it was. It is.
All the best to you guys. Much love.
Back at you. Thanks, Armando.
Thank
We'll
you,
talk
brother.
to you soon.
Really appreciate you, boss.
Great stuff with Armando Salguero.
Man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely good stuff. So listen, here's what we're going to do. A little surprise for the folks in the chat there. We're going to pull somebody out of the chat. Maybe one of the most active, one of the most vocal, certainly one of the funniest. So hopefully he didn't lose the email and has the link. But we're going to pull somebody from the chat. And I want to talk about, while that's happening, I want to talk about, we can start thinking about this, and I want to get your opinions in the chat as well. The late game decisions against Washington. I don't want to, look, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Dolphins got a victory. Ultimately, that is all that matters. All right, we're going to get into it. There he goes. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam. What's up, man?
Perfectville is in the tank. What's up, brother?
Oh, just another lovely day here in California. I got to, we got the great Armando Salguero that was just on here. We were having a fantastic time with Juice, Seth, and the legendary Sevach. I'm kidding, of course. Armando is fantastic to be there. You guys left the back door open. I'm here. This is your fault, not mine. Not my fault, guys.
We're thrilled you're here. It's like, okay, do we take the hit in the chat? The chat's going to hold. I think they're going to hold their own with you being here.
Right,
so
right.
I want to talk about the Dolphins' late game decisions. That's what I was teeing up there. But before I do, I want you to let's clear the air right here, right now. Does Travis Wingfield owe his entire career to you?
Is Travis in the chat?
He is not. He's,
No.
Travis is too big time to sit here in the chat.
That's true. He's probably like, bring the chat to me.
Bring the chat to me, and someone type.
Let somebody type. I will hit the index finger. I'll hit the X.
I would dictate.
Yeah. The cat will do the rest because he's got like 17 cats. No, here's what I say about Travis Wingfield, because somebody will give this to him. Travis was going to be a success regardless of who discovered him first. I didn't discover him. He basically showed up and was like, hey, I see you're doing a podcast. I think I could do it better. And I was like, prove it. And then after one episode, he proved it. And I was like, well, there's that. So no, Travis is a success all on his own. He's a self-made man. I just happen to be the guy that maybe opened the door for him, and then he ran through the window and kept going.
Right.
Sam in the chat would have taken all the credit. What the hell? We put Sam on here.
All right. Travis, that skinny jean wearing little bitch. I swear to God.
That's what I want.
I'm kidding. Of course. I love you, Travis. I love you.
Too good.
I wanted to fight somebody on Twitter the other day. They were like taking shots at Travis for no apparent reason. And I was like, I don't know where this guy is from. His own boogers and picks his butthole while typing this stuff. And yet he is the one that's going to pick on Travis, who is, by the way, I guarantee you, this is a guy who listens to Travis, subscribes to Travis, probably emailed Travis multiple times. And Travis was like, thanks for the subscribe. And then that was it. This is Stan. He is Stan to Travis's Eminem. This isn't going to end well for this guy.
Yeah, Travis takes a lot of hits, Sam. He takes a lot of hits, man. And, it's unfortunate that he has to take a lot of them because he works for the squad, but I bet he want to fire back about a lot of that shit that comes his way for sure.
The memoir, when Travis is all said and done, when the memoir hits, at that point, we'll just be able to download it directly into the skull, but it's going to slap. And the beauty of that is in the middle of it, there's going to be a lot of X's and O's and, 9 routes and everything else. And
there is. Yeah.
It's all going to be in there.
Reduced fronts and, 6 coverage, all that's going to be a part of what he's talking about.
That's how I do it. I was out coverage. That's how I do it. I was outmatched. I was on an island like Jamar Fletcher because when I started talking to Travis and he started going, hey, did you watch the game? And it's like the third quarter, 5th game in. I'm like, man, I am hungover. I'm still trying to get vodka out of my mouth from last night. No, I didn't see the game. And I don't know the exact play you're talking about. But sure, at this point, I was like, Travis is on his own. It's Wingfield Island, and he is the sole proprietor of that island. He's on next level, man.
There's no doubt about it. All right, no doubt about it. Well, speaking of next level, I thought there was some next level happenings at the end of the Dolphins Washington Commanders game.
Nice transition, bro. Nice transition.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And the end of regulation was very frustrating for me. And then the coin toss was frustrating for me. And I went off on Twitter and then had all of Twitter explain to me, like, hey, idiot, don't you know that the rule is now that both teams get the ball? But then I doubled down, and I didn't double down just because I had to stay, right and push my narrative. I understand what everybody's saying about now that both teams get the ball. If you elect to get the ball second, you know what you need to do. I resist that. I feel like you know what you need to do before the fucking coin toss. You need to win. You need to score, and you need to stop the other team. And so I just don't understand. To me, I'd rather have the full 10 minutes. I'd rather dictate the terms. But it seems like I am in the vast minority, both by the analytics, by my partner here, Juice, and I got into a little debate about it. I'm curious as to is there anybody who agrees with me that even though the rules have changed, you still want the ball first?
Sam or Sevach, you guys want to try it first?
Look, I mean, it was very simple. The game plan, they executed it to perfection. Just have him throw the ball to Jack Jones, MM to JJ. That's it. That's the strategy right there. Since the rule, personally, I like that the rules have changed. I think they should change the rules further. I think they should go the way of hockey, and you just take one player off of each team, and you go 10 on 10 for the first 10 minutes. And if it's still a tie, 9 on 9, and eventually we got 1-on-1, and I like my chances with Jordan Brooks as my 1-on-1 guy out there. So I'm just saying that's what I would do. I don't give a shit. We won the game, so I like the strategy that we employed. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I feel like, Big Seth, that you said 10 minutes. When's the last time you seen a 10-minute drive? First and foremost, you know what I mean.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to go to zero.
If you take the ball, then you're saying you're going to basically run the clock out. Nobody's going to go on 10-minute drives.
I'm not saying a 10-minute drive, Juice, but 6 to 7 minute drives are real,
right? And then you end up still getting a field goal. You still got 3 or 4 minutes left to go down and win and lose the football game. No,
why start with 3 minutes?
Think that we could go down and put a 7-minute drive together as a team. That too, right?
No, I'm saying go down and score. Go down and score the football, whatever it is, and then get a friggin' stop.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's all I'm saying.
That's the whole point, though, man. I think that the fact that they've gone to a semi-college rule, and I understand what Sam's saying, keep it going. The 4 o'clock game always trumps all that. For this game, was 1 o'clock game because you got to get off TV and let the next game start, and so on and so forth. But you have to. I just don't get how you don't want to see what you have to get to win the football game. Even if they score a touchdown, you still can score your touchdown and have a chance to go for 2 to win the fucking game. You just get so many more options when you take the ball second compared to when you don't. You know what I mean? And knowing what you need to get means everything, I think, to me, because hell, you go down there, all right, you get stalled, you kick a field goal. Now you think talk about assholes getting tight. Everybody is like, oh, damn. And he said it himself. It's easy to get in the field goal range in the league. Now you're not that far from getting in touchdown range as well when you return a kick out to the 30, 35, 40-yard line, So I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, and I know you're sticking to your guns, and we talked about this, Seth. You stick to your guns all the time, no matter what. I was wrong about the overtime rule. How about that? I was at Bo's Beach like, whoa, what are we doing here? And then I was infuriated. Guys that knew more, and they're like, "Well, oh shit!"
It didn't help.
My old ass needs to start doing more research.
Tua seemed so confused, right? Did Tua make you feel like he was confident in saying that he wanted the ball second?
Yeah,
like I felt like the
because
referee.
It's our first one, and probably the first one with these rules too. He had to be like, "What you want?" He probably asked Mike, "Said what you want us to do? What?" What I mean?
And I felt like the referee was like, "What you want to kick? You sure you want to kick?"
That's got to be the norm now.
But again, that was also on the heels of being at the 1-yard line or 2-yard line, wherever they were, 4th down. There's under 2 minutes to play. Your opponent has no timeouts, and they elected to go for it instead of kick the field goal. And I know there's the people who just say, "Oh, you got to be aggressive." I heard today from all of the analytics. I hate to say nerds. I'm a friggin' nerd, but from the analytics gurus that, oh, you have to do it because of this and because of that and the safety and so on and so forth. To me, as soon as they didn't get that, as soon as they didn't score, they gave they pushed all of the chips to the side of the table for Washington, and they should have lost. If Washington's kicker still has a job today, that means the Dolphins lose. We're talking about fire McDaniel again. Mm-hmm. That was my problem. So that, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Am I alone on this one as well?
It looks like you're alone. There's Wingfield Island, and apparently there's a little inlet for Seth, the Seth inlet. Nobody, because they won the game, Seth, so the results are the answer. So if they had lost the game, then you're probably not on an island. You probably have an entire city around you. But I mean, look, that's how we are. We're all fans. We're not coaches. We're not GMs. Everybody in the chat who thinks they're smart, you don't know ball. I'm sorry. I don't either. That's why we're talking about it and not playing it or coaching it. We have the ability of hindsight and, retroactive mindset here. I think they won the game. So that's, that's the right answer.
Sam, they've got to kick the field goal and take the points. They've got to take the points right there, no matter what. Under 2 minutes, no timeouts left. They might get in field goal range to tie the game up, but if you don't get points there, they can get in field goal range and almost win the game, like they almost did right there. And that is
but have we considered the fact that Mike McDaniel didn't know he could kick a field goal at the end of the fourth quarter? Like maybe you guys didn't know the overtime rules. Maybe he didn't know that was an option. You know how it's like a booth review within 2 minutes. Maybe it's like no field goals. We decided on the rules in Spain. Spain has international football rules, and there's no field goals within 2 minutes. That's what it is.
Some people talk about it that it was a flashback of the Chargers game in this situation. I've heard that as well, where he felt like he needed a touchdown because of what happened in the Chargers game, where they got points and they should have whatever they should have done, then the Chargers go down and win the game late on us. I just feel like bottom line is this: they had 13 points at that point. They weren't moving the ball. They were moving it at times, and then they weren't. But at the end of the game, you've got to honestly, Mike's got to take those points. I'm so tired of analytics. Is my problem, I think, more than anything. Because they're looking at this sheet saying, well, the sheet says this. And then you got to look at the fucking play call. You got to look at all that stuff, man. And I thought that no matter what, we didn't gain much on those first few plays down there. And then, you still go for it. I thought it was just a bad idea for Mike. And, he did get lucky. He got fucking lucky, man, in my opinion.
Got really lucky, in my opinion. I'm looking at the chat. I'm seeing no one's talking about the fourth down call because they're too busy telling me that I'm wrong about the overtime rules. So I'll just have to accept it. All right, look, let's move into this. I'd like to move into what I tried to tell y'all. Sam, I called you probably 6 minutes before we started this thing. So I don't know if you're prepared for it. I tried to tell y'all. So we'll let Juice and Sevach go first, and then hopefully you'll come up with something. And I can't even imagine how great it's going to be. Juice, you want to kick this thing off?
Sure. I'll kick it off, man. So I tried to tell y'all that Mike McDaniel had to change the way he coaches. And he has. No, he hasn't given up the play calling duties that I was clamoring for. But I'm kind of glad that he didn't. He's been in his bag the past 4 games, in which we played, minus that fourth down play I was just talking about in Madrid. I did not like the fourth down call at all. But look at what the team has done over that stretch. Finally scoring over 30 points in a couple games and moving the ball for over 300 yards in those games as well. 338, 370, 311. And, of course, the turnovers and the missed field goal hurt us in that Ravens game, or it could be possibly 4-game winning streak right now, right? But what I'm really trying to tell y'all is that they needed to stick to the fucking run, man. Because of that, they've gone with extra linemen and Brunskill a bunch of times. They've created mad yards with this thing, and it gives us the ability to run the rock even when teams know that we're trying to run the football. Mike is running the ball. Check this out. In the last few games, 60-40% clip to pass, man. And taking the pressure off too, which is what we all needed. We all know that the onus being on QB1 does not work for us. It does not work for us whatsoever. So whenever you got a chance to go out there and just run it and gain these yards and know that we're going to run it and still gain these yards, that's impressive, man. And so, also like what I was saying is like one thing that I really want to say was that bringing, and I've said, how many times have I said this, Big Seth? Bringing the offensive coordinator, Frank Smith, down on the field was going to be a game changer. So his ability to coach the bench while Mike is coaching in the white paint, you know what I mean, and doing his other stuff, has been invaluable. You know, so you make these adjustments now, series after series after series, throughout the whole team, instead of just making these adjustments at halftime. I think that's been very important for what Mike has been able to do, and bringing him down there and putting some of the onus on the offensive coordinator to go do some of the things he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I think that's been huge for me. I know, you know, Frank isn't calling the plays, but he's making most of these plays work because he's been able to interact with all these guys. So that's what I try to tell you.
I like it. We don't hear miscommunication in operation.
We haven't heard that at all. We did have a timeout untimely. You know, we had that, but the miscommunication and operation stuff we did not hear in the last few weeks. That's for sure.
No doubt. No doubt. Sevach, what did you try to tell us?
I'm feeling a little global tonight, fellas. So I'm going to say I tried to tell y'all that gridiron football is really gaining traction internationally. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. I want to set the scene real quick because since we just came off this game, when you look at this, the Washington-Miami game, these are 2 3-7 teams. We're looking at this as football fans, right? It's the 2 3-7 teams coming to face each other, battling to stay out of fading into obscurity. Packed arena in Madrid. Now, these are the same 2 teams that they probably couldn't pack their own arenas at home for this same game. But, man, Madrid was loving it, and they're not alone. I've been watching. Did you guys know that roughly about 8% of Germany's population says that they follow the NFL in some way, shape, or form?
Didn't have that statistic.
See, and of them, about 3.6 million or so consider themselves, oh yeah, very engaged.
Sam's fact checking you right now.
Please. My wife and I were over there actually. We're over there a few summers ago.
Wearing the colors.
We were at a gas station right next to the hotel, and we walked in there, and sure enough, standing in the middle of the store, giant Jacksonville Jaguars t-shirt. And I'm blown away because this is some small town. It's next to a big city, but not a city that anybody who's not from Germany would be able to recognize. So way off the beaten path, and yet here they are. And they're among the more popular teams that are out there. And of course, you know, it's not just Europe. We've seen it out there. Japan loves them some football. Juice, you know a thing or two about that, don't you?
Over there, yeah. Hell yeah.
Uh-huh. They've got their own professional league, which is actually kind of funny. I like how they do it. Instead of having private owners, every team's owned by a corporation, like the Panasonic Impulse.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I know. I'm a wealth of.
What do those guys get? They get all free electronics? Like,
I like to think so. I would hope Sony had a team so they could just give everybody.
That's the team I play for.
That's damn right.
That's like Real Madrid right there. That Sony team compared to Panasonic.
See, and they love it. All right. So I think that a lot of people, especially folks younger than me, don't even really remember NFL Europe. But man, American football is coming back internationally in a big way, and I am here for it. And damn it, I tried to tell y'all.
Nice. There it is.
Nice.
Internationally.
Let Sevach go. Sevach, is there going to be a team over in Europe at some point?
We're hoping so, but now I am curious.
Who's we? You want to miss it?
Yep, maybe. Me and you know, the gang of voices in my head.
All right. Too good. Sam from Perfectville. I'm going to brace myself.
Couple of things. I can't wait for the Publix Miami Dolphins to hit somewhere. The corporation that would own the Miami Dolphins would absolutely be Publix, and I'm here for it. I think you could go there, get a sandwich, get mad, throw it at the coach on 4th down when he goes for it, when he should be kicking a field goal. There's all kinds of things that you could do. The
federal laws against that now, Sam, aren't you? You can't throw subs at people, man.
Okay, I'm thinking it's an in-game commercial. That's how I would market it in my brain. It's not a felony if it's a commercial, Juice. Right, that's all I'm going with. All right. I tried to tell y'all that if you're driving a Subaru in America in 2025, that you deserve to go to jail with no due process, with absolutely no way to get out on parole. I'm serious. I know I'm a stand-up comedian. This is a serious issue. Do you understand me? If you actively knowingly get behind the wheel of a pregnant roller skate called a Subaru. That's what Subaru means in Australian, by the way, pregnant roller skate. And you commit acts of terrorism, crimes against humanity, against us Americans out on the streets, I can't fuck with you. I can't do it. Yesterday, I took my daughter to school, and I'm going through the drop-off line, and what do I see staring at me, eye to eye, face to face, grill to grill? A Subaru Outback driving the wrong way in the drive-through lane. Now, did I honk the horn? Did I say, move, bitch? Yes, you're absolutely right. I said, move, bitch. I rolled down the window and said, move, bitch, and she didn't move. And you know what she did? She kept going forward. She couldn't be stopped. She was like Tim Bowens and Larry Chester at a buffet line. Stopped. You couldn't get out of the way. You didn't want to be me in that situation. Listen to me. Do you know how many Subaru recalls they've had in America since they came here? 144. I don't know about you, but I don't know who's running Subaru, but I'm pretty sure the last name is Greer. Follow me. All right. Now, here's what needs to happen.
Come on, man.
If you own a Subaru, burn it. Put a brick on the gas pedal and drive that sumbitch into some ditch. If you have a friend who has a Subaru, 2 options. Help them burn it, put a brick on that sumbitch and drive it into the ditch, or cheaper, less felonious, get new friends. It's cheaper. It's probably easier to do. Do it. And if you have loved ones that have a Subaru, guess what? You don't love them, because loved ones don't let loved ones drive Subarus in America. To put it in football terms, if you're driving a Subaru in America, that's the football equivalent of you wearing a New York Jets jersey on Sunday. And it's not a surprise that Subaru and New York have the same amount of letters. Try to tell you.
Mic drop. There he is.
Yes,
If I've
sir.
learned anything. Sevach, Sam's comments brought to you by Toyota, no doubt. So if I have learned anything, it is no, I should not go after Sam. I almost don't want to do mine now. Wow. I cannot say
I had a lot of problems with Subaru.
Yes, I was surprised you opted to go after him.
Well, I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly wasn't thinking, but I just want to know how your daughter reacted in the car line when you rolled the window down. And
you probably said move, bitch, too.
Yeah. You think I was the aggressor in that situation? Somebody had to get to PE.
Too good.
I was being nice. The filth cake coming out of my daughter's mouth. I mean, it make you guys blush. And I heard everyone on this panel swear today.
Oh my God.
But no.
Where'd she get that from?
Her mother. Her stupid bitch mother. How about that?
All right. Well, I don't even know how I can deliver here, but I'm going to go for it. So Subaru, I mean, the chat, let's get the chat. Like, get all the Subaru will not be advertising on the fish tank. No, I don't think
Sorry.
so, Mike. You might want to call. That's okay. They, I don't know if they were knocking down our door anyway. Well, I'm going to go back to something that, although there was some football talk there, I'm not going to talk about the Timbo line. Let's hope that Tim isn't watching.
Tim don't play that shit.
Yeah, I'm not accountable for that one, Timbo.
I can't wait to introduce Tim to Sam. I'm telling him what he said.
Dude, look, this is my last appearance. You see how I'm channeling my perk right now. I'm about to go hide in the HOA building.
Too good. Well, fellas, I tried to tell y'all that the biggest acquisition of this offseason was going to be Miami Dolphins special teams coordinator Craig Ackerman. And look, I understand that the fact that he's been the biggest acquisition is probably a contributor to the fact that it's a 4-7 team, but that's not the point that I'm making. Okay. What is the point is that the cancellation of the Danny Crossman show was long overdue here in Miami. And while things haven't been perfect under Ackerman, they've been pretty damn good. So Jake Bailey, yes, Jake Bailey is having a career year. 45.7 net average is currently more impressive than the 45.6 net average that earned him All-Pro honors in 2019. He also has an NFL-leading 5 punts inside the 5-yard line. And I don't even want to get into how good his holding has been because Sarni's in the chat right now, and he might blow a gasket. But speaking of holding, How about the fact that Ackerman lost his all-pro kicker without warning just before the season began? Has anybody seen Jason Sanders? That's an interesting one there. So he pulled Riley Patterson off the couch from what Mike McDaniel told us. He was having a couch party. And then the guy has been absolute money. He's knocked down 17 of 19 field goals this year, including the game winner in Madrid this past Sunday. And he had that opportunity because, well, anyway, we won't go back into what happened in the fourth quarter. And what about Malik Washington, who's 6th in the NFL in total return yards this season? Now, I discussed this with Travis. I needed a little help, so shout out to Travis. He did help me right before showtime. So I appreciate the assist, T-Dog. T-Dog. Has anybody ever called him T-Dog before he came on the show?
No, it's normal now, yeah.
I've never heard it.
Most guys make up their own nicknames, you know what I mean? And once they do that, it's not really a nickname.
Can you use? Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So, but he sent me one of those goofy EPA charts where the Dolphins special teams are 3rd in the league. And Juice, I don't give a shit about that chart, except the fact that it does support my position right here. So I'm bringing it up. But yes, the 4-7 record makes it a little hard to celebrate. But as Tua tells us in every post-game presser, there are 3 phases in football. Yes, it's brother. Offense, it's defense, and as Tua always reminds us, it's special teams. And for far too long, under Danny Crossman, we were playing from behind in that 3rd phase, but not anymore. So I tried to tell y'all that Craig Ackerman would not only be the most impactful move of the Dolphins offseason, but damn it, he's been downright special.
Yeah, that's what I got. Okay. He has been. You're right. What about that kickoff return he gave after we got the punt return touchdown?
Hasn't been perfect. Okay. That was unacceptable.
What about
Damn, Juice. Damn.
Juice is coming for doing that, Juice.
Situation like that.
That's good stuff, man. I'm all with you, man. I'm a teams guy too, bro. And we noticed after the beginning the transformation has been amazing with special teams because honestly, they lost us games, in previous years. Not only did, they weren't very good, but they lost us some games in previous years. Now, I can't even say any game this year where it's special teams that messed anything up for us, but they've actually given us a chance. Top 5 times inside the 5 punts. That's shit. You tell any team to go 90+ yards and win a football game or score some points. That's good stuff right there, bro. But how many times does the damn defense let people out of the hole, man? So I want to know what happened there, man.
3rd and long.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd and long. Are you nervous when our defense is facing a 3rd and long? Does anybody get nervous like I do?
I don't. I get hella nervous when we are because I think it's going to be an interception or a sack. But for our defense, I think our defense, man, I think we've been dialing it up pretty nicely for us, man.
Yeah,
we're finding some young dudes that can actually fucking play some football, man.
Fair enough.
And I'm excited about that part of it, bro. So yeah, man, great stuff on Ackerman, man. I like him. And I like his press conference. I like his press conferences too, because he talks about shit that if anybody listens to him do a press conference, I'm a special teams guy and I'm a Mike Westall fan. But some of the things that they talk about and discuss, like what about the time, like it's like 3 special teams footballs, right? And how he's trying to hold one, like it was like going to be a rainy day. They're going to keep one of them, use the other 2 all game long, but there's going to be one they might want to use at the end of the game because they need that dry ball that could be the one that they're going to need at that situation. I don't even think about shit like that, man. What I mean? Like shit that they think about.
Neither did Danny Crossman.
Crazy, man. That's why they're coordinators now instead of special teams coaches. They coordinate now.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So no, he's been a bright spot in a season that hasn't had a whole lot of them. That's all I got. That's all I got on the list. Sam, tell us what's going on in Perfectville. So I think you just had an episode where you blame Jalen Phillips for everything that's gone wrong because they've gone 2-0 since they've traded him. Is that right?
Listen, all I know is he was a really good hugger when he was on our team, but he knows how to tackle all of a sudden when he goes north by about 2.5 hours. I'm not sure what happened. His hair got longer. He grew a beard. Like things were tougher in Philly. I get it. But all of a sudden he just takes a flight up there. He's like, it's the greatest day of my life. I'm like, what's going on in your life that's so bad that you getting traded from one NFL franchise to the other is the greatest day of your life? I mean, really? But then he goes out and he gets 5 sacks. So I'm like, you know what? He was the problem. Jordan Brooks goes out and gets 75 tackles in a game and makes Zach Thomas go, God damn, who's this guy? I mean, the entire defense apparently was carrying Jalen Phillips's big, fat, muscular, sexy ass every single play of every single game. They had to pick him up and drag his ass like Weekend at Bernie's, and that's why people are running, and that's why we don't get sacks. He leaves, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, we could go hit the other guys instead of carrying this dead weight everywhere. Sorry, Jalen Phillips, but you're going to talk shit about my team, and yes, it's my team. I own it, at least up here in my brain, the public's Miami Dolphins. You get blamed for everything. As soon as you leave, all of a sudden, gray skies clear up, the sun is out, we're 4-7. We were 2-7, so don't come talking to me at 4-7. So it's the greatest day of our life, Jalen Phillips, that you left. We broke up with you.
Oh, man. I can't help but laugh, and I love JP. Like, that's my dude. Like, I love JP.
You didn't leave us. We left you. That's right, Sam.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I am not, other than maybe if Juice helps me out, I'm not going to be allowed at any, alumni reception. I've been banned from Niners. I've been banned from the I'll tell you a story about me going and doing comedy for the Raiders one day. That was a mistake for many, many reasons. I got to wash my mouth around these. But I had another blast about Mark Dixon, but Armando brought up Mark Dixon. Of all people, he brings up Mark Dixon. I'm like, well, I got to strike that joke from the record. So sorry, Tim Bones and Larry Chester. It's now on you.
Yeah. Too good. Well, we're going to have some serious security at the door. I don't know if Lewis is still in the chat, but when we do this comedy show, we're going to have some serious security at the door when we promote that Sam is flying in from Perfectville. Appreciate you.
You want to hear a real funny story?
Yeah.
I'll make it quick.
Funnier than the Subaru one?
What's that?
Funnier than the Subaru one?
Well, that's just, I snapped, obviously. Outback, Paul Hogan. I don't even watch Crocodile Dundee movies anymore. That's a deep cut for anybody who knows the marketing materials for Subaru in the 90s and 80s right there. You're welcome. All right. Bill from Boynton probably knows. All right. Quick. I was on stage. I think I told the story to you before, Seth, but I was on stage. I was opening for Bruce, the famous comic, fantastic dude. And I made a joke about the 49ers, and I get off stage, and this huge guy just hits me on my thigh. It still hurts to this day. And he goes, good shit, boy. And then after the game, he comes up to me, and I realize it's Gary Payton. Yes, that Gary Payton. And he grew up in the Bay. I'm in the Bay. And he goes, hey, man, I didn't appreciate those 49er jokes. And I said, well, Gary, as a Los Angeles Lakers fan, I didn't appreciate you teaming up with Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Karl Malone and somehow losing to the Pistons. Are you serious? And he goes, I guess we're even. I go, we're not even. Tayshaun Prince ate your lunch. He took your money, bought lunch, and then ate your lunch. We're not even. So flash forward to the next day, because you never know who's in the audience. I learned my lesson. I start talking shit about the Raiders. And I mentioned Michael Crabtree by name because he was on the Raiders at the time. I get off stage, and the owner of the club's got a grin just ear to ear. And I go, what? He goes, come with me. I'm like, oh, no. I go upstairs, and there in front of me is the entire, at the time, Oakland Raiders just sitting there. All of them are cool. Everybody's great except Michael Crabtree. Refused to shake my hand. He took a napkin, and he threw it at me. I caught it. And I said, that's called a reception. And then he walked down the stairs and out the club.
Wow.
So,
oh, shit.
Michael's not. Derek Carr laughed, by the way, just so you know. Derek was right there. He thought it was hilarious. He was like,
Did you see that?
Too good. Too good.
Anyway, I didn't pull. I'm sorry. I'm doing my stand-up. Next week, we have Thanksgiving next week. The bye week is hitting at the right time for all kinds of reasons. Myself and my co-host, Chris Cullen, the two-time Hall of Famer, former collegiate standout linebacker, named his son, Zach Thomas Cullen, after you know who. He's going to be coming back in, and we have a tradition that we call Hatesgiving. So everybody gives thanks this week. We talk about all the things we hate, like maybe Karens who drive Subarus, Michael Crabtree, Gary Payton not being able to knock down a bucket in 2004, whatever it is. We just go off on anything and everything that we hate. So tune in. We'll have that out sometime in the next week or maybe the next month. Who knows? We're not very good about being consistent with our show, as you guys know. But Hatesgiving. It's the 9th annual Hatesgiving Day Parade coming up.
Nice.
Well, there you go. Make sure you check that out. If you're not already following, how could you not be following? Where should they be following? At Perfectville Pod? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to make that so nobody would know if it was me or Chris, and then Chris created his own event and his own account called Perfectville Chris. I'm like, well, that kind of gave it away, didn't it? So now every time I call somebody a son of a bitch and go to firemikemcdaniel.com, they're like, well, Sam wrote that. I'm like, it could be Chris. They're like, no, he has his own.
No, it's definitely not Chris. Yeah, Chris is Tua telling people that there were guys that were late to the players only meetings. I mean, that's exactly what he was doing.
So the thing you said, Tua says it's 3 things, right? It's offense, it's defense, and we'll take the ball second. I think those are the 3 things.
Those are certainly the three things. And apparently everybody agrees with him. So there you go. And it worked out because everyone knew that Jack Jones was going to get that interception. I mean, they just knew that was going to happen.
Yep. Sure did.
No doubt.
Sure did.
Gentlemen, this was a lot of fun. It's getting late. Juice, I think it's about that time.
Yes, y'all. Hey, everybody, thanks for diving in.